Hello, this is the man from Brooklyn. I'm back. I hope everybody had a great weekend and a great day. The topic today is still going to be about the Atlanta shootings. Is it racism or is it not? Um, from what the sheriff department told me, they still don't know, trying to figure it out. And from what the person who they arrested, he say he's suffering from some sex, whatever. So, it's going to come down to right now the media feel what they pushing out is racism because he picked a particular group. And the Orientals are having problems right now since this COVID thing came out. Everybody blaming it on them, just like the bad apples. They got a few bad apples over there, and their country is controlled by one leader, and you got to do whatever he tells you to do, or he have you moved or killed. And a lot of the countries this way. Let's look at when we invaded Iraq during Desert Storm. We had the same thing over here. We was taking out all the saying all Arabs is terrorists. Well, that's not so. All Arabs is not terrorists. You got a lot of people as productive lives here in the United States and living, all over the place. So you can't take one particular group and say they all. But some folks can separate that. They just want to blame somebody. That's why we had only people died over here. We can sit there and talk about Hitler when he was killing the Jews. The same thing. They took the Orientals and put them in camps. A lot of you young people don't know that because they wasn't sure over in the United States how many was terrorists over here, so they put them all in camps. Go look up your history and see this for yourself. Don't go by what people say. That's why we got YouTube. You go to the library, so many different ways you go. Now the COVID is being lifted. You could go out more and check out the stuff for yourself. Remember, do your own research. Never depend on the news because you won't see nothing but a lot of propaganda and other people's opinions. You can look at it, but you got to separate the truth from the facts. Yes, I believe it's a certain amount of racism in that involved because he picked one particular group. But now they're still doing a background investigation. They're checking his Facebook, his Instagram. They usually tell you, everything. And law enforcement, what we usually do, we go to your Facebook page and pretty much as we do searches, we can kind of figure out your background and everything. That's 90% of the resume right there on your Facebook page, especially if you've been on there years, with all this stuff going on with our veterans, it still causes post-traumatic stress and drama. So, me speaking as a veteran, you have to learn to separate that in your head. And if you can't, remember, I always tell you veterans, seek counseling and have somebody to talk to. It's ways that you could cope with this without hurting anybody's feelings and nothing like that. You can express your opinion, but not with violence. This is stuff's going on. You don't run around and want to shoot folks and kill them because you got a hatred for another group or nationality. But you're gonna always have um, people that's gonna be out here that's prejudiced. We can use the blacks for a reason. We can sit there and say, okay, we want everything come to us in money or whatever because y'all put us in slavery. If a person was a member of the Klan, say their dad was a Grand Poobah, the kids have nothing to do that. You have to figure out that young man yourself to see that he pick up the traits from his parents. But I still believe that the children have to pay the sins of their forefathers before that generation die out. Look at the Kennedys. They still paying for some of the stuff that the father did back in the days. They bring up history over there. Some leaders, their parents did stuff that it never shake. We could look at the Governor Wallace when he was the governor. His son is paying for things that his dad sat in front of the school steps and say racism now, racism forever. If that's the right quote, whatever he said, because I have to go back and look. And then even in his last days, they stated that he repented, but for his sins. But everybody not going to believe in that. They're still going to judge him for what he did on them school steps. A lot of people make decisions, even Trump make decisions. What he do that's going to affect his children, but at that time they don't see that, so they got to go in hiding. That's no way to live. So you older people, watch what you say because it will affect your family tree. So you just can't run around here just running at your mouth saying any of those things because you do that they can't get you. They go after your children. That's been proven fact. They still looking for dirt there. All that makeup dirt. They don't care. These folks have no remorse in what they do. We got a lot of radicals out here always want to blame something on somebody else instead of taking responsibility for their own actions. I'm real pumped up about this today because it's just too much. The day before I got off, I heard a number of domestic calls, people beating on the ground because they can't have their way. And they run around crying all the time. And then you got this now generation you have to deal with. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. Instead of taking their time and getting it and doing it right. When you rush into stuff and you get into stuff like that, most of the time it don't come out right because you rush to it and got into it. And then you realize what you got yourself into and say, oh, this is a mess. And life, take your time and figure out what's going on. Don't jump up and take the first thing you see. It's like buying a house and a car. You crazy? You look at the interest rates. Do your own homework. And I emphasize this on more. Stop listening to what everybody tell you. Do not have both your ears open. Listen and sort this stuff out for yourself. Don't go by what John and John say. If they come out with something in a penal code, you might want to look it up to see it's right. I had a situation today on community service. I had to correct somebody in the courthouse. We are having people to do community service, but they don't read and check themselves. You got so many people down here in the United States living in this little bubble, and they believe whatever they tell them. That's on TV, that's in the church, that's everybody. If I run outside right now and say, did you see Jesus up there? He's going out. You're going to have people up there looking, yeah. People only want to believe what they see. That's not true. Because you breathe this air, you don't see it. You know it's there. So faith come all kind of other ways. It's what is what you have faith in. And me, that's what I stand on, and I do my homework. I know this is a long message, but I'm pumped up now because I'm waiting to see what this backing up to see what this thing's going to turn out in Texas. Uh, excuse me, correction, Atlanta. Texas is another issue. One of my topics I got to come up. That's still going on over there. You know, I told you about that on my last message. Lifting the ordinance so much where they're not checking for just not immigrants and a lot of other people to see that they have this COVID. This thing is not over with yet. It's going to go on and on. Some people just take it and run with it because they want to terrify you and you can't conduct your life. You know, you got to live. So all I say is to be cautious. Please don't forget to subscribe. Anthony Clark Banks on YouTube on the right hand side. If you'd like to send me an email, you can send me an email at aclarkbanks@aol.com and I will answer it to the best of my ability. God bless you and have a great day.